Hi, I'm Lois Perslowski. I'm an educational psychologist who specializes in helping individuals with ADHD embrace their ADHD brain styles to maximize their potential, focus, and fun.
This video explains 3 practical tips to help you focus on what matters and gives you even more free tips in the description below. ADHD is more complicated than just a sluggish dopamine system, but studies show most of us with ADHD have less dopamine, a neurotransmitter responsible for, among other things, motivation, reward-seeking, and movement. We therefore are prone to craving stimulation and motor activities. Tip 1. Move. Daily rigorous exercise is perhaps the best method to reduce or eliminate the need for medication. In addition to improving circulation and mental sharpness, exercise gives us healthy outlets to socialize and learn new things, all of which promotes mental health. If you are drawn to intense stimuli, go for it. Plan guilt-free excitement outlets. A little planning goes a long way here, trust me. Making arrangements to try kite surfing, paintball, rock climbing, skateboarding, or mountain biking sure beats scrambling to find buddies with bail money in the middle of the night after you spontaneously decided to climb the McDonald's sign. Help your teachers and parents know you think best when moving and work with them to find ways that won't distract or disrupt. Whenever possible, incorporate movement with learning. Try swinging or going for a walk while reading aloud or silently. Audiobooks are great for listeners who think best while moving. I personally like them on double speed if a conversational narrative, 1.5 speed if the content is more dense. I reserve regular speed for authors I particularly respect. Reading and discussing homework while you are on a stationary bike, treadmill, or Pilates ball works too. Want to see how I wrote a couple books?
This is an endo board. Again, available on the internet for maybe $150. New. This kind of stimulation is not for everybody, so you can find used ones online for way cheaper. Now, most ADHD medications are central nervous system stimulants, which would make most people hyper. But it has the opposite effect on ADHD-wired minds, as stimulants make it so we do not have to self-stimulate to jumpstart our concentration. The endo board is another fine way to move a little while focusing on what matters. I'm no acrobat, so I don't usually type when I'm on the endo board, but it is great when you're reading over material or editing material or watching videos, or of course listening to audiobooks if you're not feeling like a jog. So move a little, have fun. This is a fit desk. It's a real thing. I bought this one online for about $250. The deal is, it's not enough movement to break a sweat, but it's enough to help me stay focused and not daydream or consider bigger distractions of movement. I should note, this is a stationary bike. Stationary being the key word for brilliant for ADHD scholarship. Real bikes are great, but can be straight up, flat out dangerous when typing. Stay safe.
Tip number 2. Plan. To focus on what matters, structure is vital. For those of us with ADHD brain styles, structure is critically important for balance and well-being. For example, to foster more reliable attention, I go to sleep and wake up at basically the same time every day, even on vacation, even on the weekends. External structure like this helps scaffold a platform for efficient thinking and performance. Having a daily plan establishes a thoughtfully balanced life, which becomes an energy-efficient habit. I recommend scheduling everything you can: work, exercise, eating, sex, sleep, quality time with your children, quality time with your spouse, quality time with yourself, and quality time with, you know who needs to be in this space for you. Designing a time for everything may allow you to better focus on one connection at a time. This type of mindful focus on whom or what is in front of you adds to the quality of your relationships and productivity. It just takes practicing your focused intention to be precisely who the other person needs you to be at that moment. We know what we focus on grows. Make a habit of taking a moment to focus your intention clearly. I recommend taking a moment to focus your intention on the best interest of the others before every session, meeting, class, practice, operation, or whatever form your day takes. Generous intentions connect us, and connection is the point of living. Tip number 3, learn. When you have a better understanding of your brain style, it's easier to help yourself and others. Sedentary activities may not be well suited for your brain style. In fact, for many ADHD individuals, having to be still drains energy and the ability to focus. For those of us whose pace is go, breaking that pace, our pace, wastes energy. Controlling our movement to be socially acceptable and more normal uses up our willpower. There's extensive research on willpower in Gary Keller's book, The One Thing, the surprisingly simple truth behind the extraordinary results. The authors do a great job of summarizing much of the prominent willpower findings. The famous Stanford study by Walter Miskell using marshmallows, highly prized treat in the 1960s, where preschoolers were challenged to wait 15 minutes to eat the treat so they would get 2 marshmallows. Now, longitudinal studies were done on these kids decades later, and showed those who were able to postpone gratification with the beloved marshmallows had higher SAT scores, used risky drugs less, had higher education and lower body mass indexes, plus were better able to deal with interpersonal problems and maintain close relationships. As science built on those findings, with other willpower experiments using radishes and fresh-baked cookies, cold hard cash, and even Israeli parole judges, results found that willpower used brain power, and lots of it, especially in the prefrontal cortex. Research shows that after using willpower, subjects are consistently less cognitively efficient. They were not as persistent, optimistic, or smart. Now, our brain is about 1/50th of our body weight, but it uses about 20% of our calories. So now that we ADHD folk understand that willpower uses up energy and fast in exactly our most challenged area of our brain, the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for executive function like self-control and impulsivity, we need to get smarter about how to spend our willpower and when. Willpower diminishes throughout the day as we make choices controlling our emotions or stifling impulsivity and movement. It's wise to do our most important task early when willpower is highest. Plan your most creative and concentrated thinking early in the day. It's also smart to eat well and often to keep willpower levels at the high as possible. Know that going against your nature is exhausting. So whenever possible, go with your flow. If we treat or medicate away ADHD, we may lose adventurers, explorers, protectors, inventors, athletes, or other bold contributors. Remember, there is no gold standard brain, just as there is no gold standard flower. Okay, there is that standard poodle thing, but I think that is just a pretentious marketing ploy. Diversity of brains, like biodiversity, is by design. Individuals with ADHD do have brains wired differently than most, and no one disputes the inefficiency of this particular design to performing activities like sitting still and paying attention to low-reward activities. But there are 2 sides to this neurological coin. The flip side is that those with ADHD are often adventurous, have a keen perception of the whole picture, and are drawn to abstract ideas, possess remarkable intuition, and have lots of energy. Human excellence comes in all packages, so you're invited to be yourself. As Edward Howell, the author of Driven to Distraction, writes, "Fear and shame are the only true disabilities. I encourage you to structure your life to best support your natural style of brain construction. And then live your life with gusto. The world needs exactly you."
For more tips on ADHD, please see the link in the description below and receive a free copy of Chapter 16, ADHD, from Neurodiversity, a humorous and practical guide to living with ADHD, anxiety, autism, dyslexia, the gaze, and everyone else.